Shalom. Allah start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Kakadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, salutations to the hopeful elect, just pushing this truth across for comes of the earth and all faith, truth, and sincerity. This Alma on the Bud, back with us sitting. That's what we're going to about when the times we are in those times, but when things start to get drastically worse here in America, Babylon the Great. Before it drastically get bad, or worse, the Lord, how about Yahushua, is going to take His word away. He's going to take the men of the Lord, the apostles and the elders and the brother Great Millstone that has truth. He's going to take His word away. And once He's take His word away, then things just going, escalate to, displace America, Babylon the Great being destroyed. And that time, is getting closer and closer. Lord Yahweh, eventually, like I say, He's gonna take this word away. And those that, I'll say so-called Negro, Latino, Israelites that didn't believe in His word, they think that the apostles and the elders of Brother Graham Millstone had His truth, that teaches truth week in, week out on the highways and byways, on the internet. Thinking that, they're crazy, they don't know what they're talking about. Man, I've been hearing that for years, and I've been hearing about the end of the world for years, and keep talking about that, and, whatever it may be, they say out their mouth. But once it happens, you will have nothing to say. Once things just get drastically, just worse and worse and worse for in America, Babylon the Great, in the world. More people just dying left and right. Horrific judgments coming down by Lord Yahweh Shai. Then, like I said, eventually Lord Yahweh Shai take His word away, take the men, Lord, and the apostles, and the brothers out of the highways and byways. And then things gonna escalate more. You gonna know that you've been among a prophet. Once you gonna know that you've been among a prophet, that when these things go down, when you start, losing things and the status of this world, and you're struggling to pay your bills or whatever, and you're stressing, and the lack of food is gonna come about. These restaurants gonna be shut down more, because there are restaurant closing happening, and more is happening. Is gonna come. But I'll start off with Amos 5:13. Therefore, the prudent shall keep silence in that time, for it is an evil time. So who's the prudent? The men of the Lord, the apostles, and the elders of Brother Great Millstone had His truth. The wise, the men that have the wisdom, the knowledge of the Lord Yahweh Shai, this truth, to give you understanding of the word of Lord Yahweh Shai, that not no pastor, not these other Israelite camps that set up, that's teaching false doctrine, wrong doctrine. The men of the Lord, the apostles, and the elders, and the brother and Great Millstone to have it. It's gonna come a time the Lord Yahweh Shai is gonna silence the men of the Lord that have the truth, because it's gonna be an evil time. It's gonna be bad days, bad times. It's horrible days, right? Horrific. Just horrific judgments I just say horrific judgments that's gonna come down by the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. You know, it's gonna be, bad times, and like I say, it's gonna be the Lord Yahweh Hashem. It's gonna be the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is gonna excuse me. It's gonna be the Lord Yahweh Yahushua that's gonna, silence the prophets, the men of the Lord that had the truth, the apostles, and the elders and the brother of Great Millstone. Let's see. So I'll go from there. So I'm going to Ezekiel 3:26. And I will make thy tongue cleave to the roof of thy mouth, that thou shalt be dumb and shalt not be to them a reprover, for they are a rebellious house. So hey, the Lord Yahweh Shah is gonna make the apostles and the elders and the brother of Great Millstone true, make their tongue cleave to the roof of their mouth. The silence. Because it's gonna be a time's up. It's gonna be time's up. The grace period is gonna be up. Hey, the Most High Yahweh Shah is gonna bring down the hammer. It's gonna bring it down, man. Hey, time's up. The doors of mercy gonna close. And those judgments are gonna come raining down upon America, Babylon the Great. The plagues. The plagues are gonna be just boom, boom, boom. Hidden. Everyone's gonna feel it. People are feeling, what's going on right now. With the financial situation. The financial downturn is starting right now. The price of gas going up and the price of food and things will just keep rising. It's not slowing down. Eventually, like I said, there's gonna be a lack of food. But before that, like I said, it's gonna be the not hearing the word of Lord Yahweh Shah, not hearing the apostles and the elders and the brother Great Millstone has truth, not hearing their voices on the highways and byways or on the internet, because the Lord Yahweh Shah, He gonna take it away, and then the elect gonna be fully sealed, it's gonna be fully sealed, and then it's over with, Then all hell gonna break loose out here, and it's gonna get crazy out here in America about Babylon the Great. The only one's gonna be protected in those times is the elect of the so-called Negro, Latino, Native Israelites. Hopefully, I'm probably right in the number to escape the rapid judgment of the Lord Yahweh Yahushua in these times and going forward. Because 2/3 of Israelites are rebellious. They don't want to hearken. They didn't want to hearken when that time comes. They didn't hearken. They didn't take heed. They just brushed it off. They mocked this off, or made fun of the Lord, or just didn't take it seriously. Just thought that those guys just crazy. I know what they're talking about. But when that time comes, I'm not seeing those men of Lord and highways and byways, the men of Lord Great Millstone, and or on the internet, things start to get bad. You be like, where they at? Where they at? Matter of fact, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get that. It's Amos 8:11. Behold, the days cometh, saith the Lord, power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but hearing the words of the Lord, Yahweh Shah. So, hey, it's gonna come. It's gonna come. Is it the most Yahweh Shah? He gonna send a famine of His word. Before the famine of bread and water, for the lack of food and resources and all that. Before that, you're not gonna see the men of the Lord, the apostles, and the elders and the brother Great Millstone on the highways and byways or the internet, because Most High Yahweh Shah gonna pull His men away. It's gonna be of Yahweh Shah's spirit. It's gonna be of His willing in time, and you're gonna be like, where are those guys that? Week in, week out, was on the highways and byways always teaching on the internet. What happens going on? They not, where they at? Because things are just gonna be getting so bad out here. That's why. Things just gonna escalate to where, hey, it's over with now. We here. The judgment is here, baby. The judgment is coming down by Lord Yahweh Shai. It would be no point for the men of the Lord to be out there. Because Lord Yahweh Shai is gonna protect his men that kept their faith and kept pushing the word, kept pushing the truth, kept believing Lord Yahweh Shai no matter what they've been through. That kept teaching no matter what, kept pushing the word out, no matter what may go through in this life, trials and tribulations. But Lord Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Shai is gonna reward the men of the Lord, and those that believe in him, the elect. He's gonna reward his elect, and the men of the Lord, for for their obedience and keeping their faith, and staying firm and believing in his word and trusting in him, no matter how hard things, got for them, and it seemed like no way out, but Lord Yahshua delivered them out of certain situations that they didn't see no way out of it. And the men of the Lord, they had the truth, the apostles and the elders and brethren of Great Millstone. Lord Yahshua is like, reward, his men that kept the faith, having favor and had a hedge of protection, and being taken care of when all hell breaking loose in America, Babylon the Great. So, I didn't want to make this too long, so I'm going to end off with this. It's Amos 8:12. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord Yahweh, and shall not find it. Yeah, so they're going to wander to sea and sea. So that's not going to be, going to that right there. It's not talking about they're going to jump on, people going to jump on the plane trying to find them. The middle Lord Great Millstone that had the truth. They've been warning you for what's gonna come down, what's gonna happen and come down upon America, Babylon the Great. You ain't gonna jump on the plane and stuff like that to find the middle Lord. To go see. Oh, where they at? They over there. Oh, let's go and get on a plane and go to here or there. Go to New York. Let's go to Chicago. Let's go to Texas. Florida. In states. Cities. Where the middle Lord are set up. In those states and cities. Nah, it ain't gonna be that. It's gonna be by way of the internet. People gonna be searching for the men of the Lord, and it's gonna be gone. It's gonna be gone, man. That's gonna be it, and that's how once that happens. And then, like I said, the mandatory of the mark of the beast, which is the RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast, when it becomes mandatory as well for you to buy and sell. That's when things, like I say, escalates. And this place gonna be done away with, man. It's over with, man. It just, the next thing, the final, chapter, you could say, or the final. You say final chapter of the ending of the so-called white man East Sodomites, world coming down and being destroyed is Lord Yahweh returning with the angels, so-called UFOs, and Yahweh bringing down the wrath of judgment, on this place, with his anger, by the laser beam chariot UFOs and then ultimately the thermonuclear missiles. Going to be raining down upon America, Babylon the Great. And burning up everything that you see here. Burning up everything that you, loved and cherished in America, Babylon the Great. Everything, and the people here, going to be burnt up, man, destroyed, man. So with that, I didn't want to make this too long. So again, I'd like to give our praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Abshai, Ba'ashem Kakadash, to the apostles, elders, to the Sisakian brothers, to the few Akwaf, Sisters that do listen, keep the faith, and Yahushua keep fighting with us at Shalom.